Ever wonder why you haven't gotten where you want to be yet? Tired of blaming a lack of time, circumstances, or even other people? It's time to wake up and face the truth. What you're missing isn't time, luck, or talent. What you're missing is discipline. What's lacking is focus. And as long as you keep surrendering to distractions, you'll stay right where you are. There's no escaping it. If you don't have control over your focus, you don't have control over your future. Every minute wasted on distractions is an active choice to abandon your goals. And the worst part? That choice is yours. No more waiting around for motivation because it's not going to come knocking. You have to create your own motivation every day. And that's only possible with discipline. Discipline is what separates dreamers from achievers. Think you're giving your best? Think again. Most people go around thinking they're busy all the time. But the reality is they're just filling up their days with empty tasks that lead nowhere. And are you going to keep just being busy? Or are you finally ready to become effective? It's time to drop the excuses and understand that real transformation begins when you take control of your routine and carve out focus as an unshakable skill, a habit. Each act of discipline is a declaration of war against mediocrity. Most people live waiting for motivation to appear out of nowhere, like magic. Sorry to break it to you, but that's not happening. Motivation isn't going to save you because it's unstable and disappears right when you need it most. Real results come from discipline. Discipline is what you rely on when the excitement fades, when inspiration is gone, and when the desire to keep going dissolves. It's what keeps you moving forward, even on the days when everything feels hard and the world seems against you. It's easy to be motivated at the start, full of expectations and promises to yourself. But what about when you're exhausted, frustrated, or when results don't come as quickly as you hoped? That's when discipline proves its strength, turning small, repetitive actions into real progress. Think of each act of discipline as placing a brick in a wall. At the time, that brick might seem insignificant. But keep laying one brick down every day, and soon you'll have a solid wall. The accumulated result of every moment you chose to act, even without feeling like it. It's like going to the gym. Nobody gets strong by only going on days when they feel motivated. Strength comes from repetition, consistent effort, and the determination to keep going, especially when enthusiasm fades. If you want motivation to be constant, you first have to cultivate discipline. It's not about feeling inspired every day. It's about pushing through despite the lack of inspiration. When you do that, something incredible happens. Motivation starts emerging as a consequence of your disciplined actions. Every small victory, every task completed even on tough days, fuels the motivation cycle. And then, motivation stops being a fleeting gift and becomes a natural byproduct of your daily commitment. Think you have a concentration problem? Think you just can't focus for long? Here's the truth. It's not your brain. It's a lack of training. Focus is like any other muscle. It needs to be exercised regularly to get stronger. What most people don't understand is that focus doesn't just show up when you need it most. It has to be cultivated, shaped, and enhanced through specific, consistent practices. And it starts with a structured approach like the Pomodoro method, for example. Divide your work into intense 25-minute blocks, followed by short breaks. It might seem simple, but it's incredibly effective for training your brain to dive into deep states of concentration and then recover. If you think it's impossible to maintain focus for long, try eliminating all distractions for just 25 minutes. Close browser tabs you don't need. Set your phone to airplane mode and focus solely on the task at hand. It's not about forcing focus, but creating the conditions for it to thrive. And here's the thing. The more you practice cycles of focus and rest, the longer you'll be able to stay focused. It's like running at first. 10 minutes feels like forever, but with the right training, you can go longer without even realizing it. Stop fooling yourself by saying you can't focus. You absolutely can. You just need to learn to do it strategically, just like any other skill. Every focus session is a chance to train your mind to become more resilient against distractions. And the truth is, the more you challenge yourself, the more powerful your focus becomes. The reward? More productivity in less time, faster results, and the satisfaction of knowing you're in control of your own attention. Are you waiting for some drastic change to transform your life overnight? Let me tell you something. That mentality is exactly what's keeping you in the same place. Big transformations don't happen in an instant. They're built, step by step, through small daily actions that, when added up, have a massive impact. The truth is, most people underestimate the power of small habits. They want to jump straight to big achievements without realizing that it's the small, repeated acts every day that actually define who you are and where you'll end up. Think about something simple. Waking up 30 minutes earlier every day. It might seem insignificant, but that adds up to 182 extra hours in your year. Now imagine what you could accomplish with those extra hours. That's what micro habits do. They build the difference, brick by brick, until one day you look back and realize you've come much further than you ever expected. Another hard truth: if you can't even stick to small commitments, how will you handle the big ones? It's not about waking up and changing everything all at once. It's about being consistent with small things because they build the solid foundation needed for big accomplishments. Every day you repeat a micro habit, you're strengthening your discipline and training your focus. And each time you fail to keep a commitment to these small habits, you're weakening your own confidence. So start small, but start now. Choose a micro habit that seems almost ridiculously easy, but do it every day. Study for an extra 10 minutes. Read a few pages before bed. Tackle an uncomfortable task first thing in the morning. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's steering you toward your goals. That's how you transform your life, not in a single day, but every day. Want extreme focus but surrounded by clutter? Trying to concentrate amid constant notifications, scattered objects, and an environment screaming distraction? It's pointless to want sharp focus if your workspace looks like a battleground. The environment you're in is a direct reflection of the state of your mind. If your desk is full of disorganized papers, if your phone buzzes every 2 minutes, and if you're trying to work with the TV on in the background, then you're sabotaging your own success. It's that simple. What you need to understand is that environment is the foundation of concentration. If you want your focus to reach its peak, you need to eliminate everything that doesn't add value and create a space that breathes productivity. Think of a high-performance athlete. They don't train just anywhere. They train in environments optimized for peak performance. And it shouldn't be any different for you. This means turning off non-essential notifications, organizing your desk at the end of each day, and keeping only necessary items within reach. It's not just about organizing your physical space, but also about protecting your digital environment. How many browser tabs do you really need open right now? How many apps need to be running on your phone while you study or work? The answer is probably a lot fewer than you think. Set up your environment to be an ally, not an enemy. Start seeing each distraction as a thief of your time and attention. A clean and organized space isn't just for looks, it's a high-performance strategy. If you want to get more done in less time and achieve results most people only dream of, treat your environment with the seriousness it deserves. After all, it's in that space where you'll build your greatest achievements or continue living the same old failures. Are you afraid of failing? Feel embarrassed when you make a mistake? Then it's time to accept reality. As long as you see failure as an enemy, you're going to keep spinning your wheels. Failure isn't the end. It's part of the process. And if you don't know how to fall, you don't know how to get up. The truth is that the fear of failing is a convenient excuse to stay in your comfort zone. How many times have you avoided a challenge because you were afraid of failing? Know this: every time you do that, you're training yourself for mediocrity. Those who refuse to learn from mistakes refuse to grow. The best, the ones who actually achieve what they want, don't see failure as a sign to stop, but as a compass pointing to where they need to improve. Want to know what really separates winners from those who just go on dreaming? It's how they handle setbacks. While some quit at the first stumble, those who reach the top see every mistake as an opportunity to adjust, a chance to correct course, and come back stronger. Failure is part of the journey. If you're not failing, it's because you're not pushing yourself hard enough. Every time you avoid failure, you're missing a valuable opportunity to grow, learn, and become better. Stop treating failure as something to avoid. Start seeing it as a training tool, because that's exactly what it is. Each mistake is a hidden lesson, a chance to develop your discipline and test your limits. Is it hard? Great. That's a sign you're stepping out of your comfort zone and, in turn, getting closer to what you want to achieve. Only those who dive into the unknown and face their fear head-on can turn failures into victories. Ever notice that you spend your day running around, but in the end, it feels like you haven't done anything important? It's like your mind is somewhere else, even while your body is working. How do you expect to achieve something big if you can't even be present in what you're doing? The problem is that your mind is constantly busy with everything but what really matters. When you respond to messages in the middle of a task, check social media during important reading, or find yourself thinking about something else in the middle of a meeting, you're allowing a lack of focus to run your life. Mindfulness is the key to taking back that control. It's not mystical or far-fetched, but a brutally practical practice that teaches you to train your mind to be where it should be, in the present. Most people don't realize they've lost the ability to concentrate because they're used to living in a constant state of distraction. They can't focus for 5 minutes on a task without feeling the need to switch to something else. That's not normal. It's a sign that the mind has grown weak. But mindfulness teaches you to strengthen this skill. When you practice being present, you're building focus that most people can only dream of. Try something simple. When studying or working, choose one task and eliminate all distractions. Do this for a set period and notice how your mind tries to wander, but bring it back to what you're doing. This repeated practice, even if it seems small, builds a resilient mind, capable of maintaining focus at levels that most people don't even know exist. You'll stop being distracted by every little thing and start using your focus as a powerful weapon to achieve your goals. True prosperity has nothing to do with material success or external recognition. It's about living in line with your own values and achieving your goals without sacrificing what really matters. And the only way to accomplish this is by mastering two skills that few can: discipline and focus. These aren't gifts you're born with. They're skills you build, brick by brick, with every choice, every day. You have to accept that transformation won't be easy. There will be days when laziness tries to bring you down, when motivation won't show up, and when exhaustion seems impossible to overcome. And it's precisely on those days that you must act with more discipline, because that's when results start to be built. Remember, every little victory is one step closer to transforming a mediocre life into an extraordinary one. Don't settle for less. The time to act is now, not tomorrow, not later. What you do starting today will determine where you'll be in the coming months and years. So, what's it going to be? Will you choose discipline and focus as your weapons to succeed, or will you keep just being busy and directionless? The choice is yours.